crazy podcast about DC with your host E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy and listen to a show that won't be forgotten. Coming straight out of Gotham.
And welcome, everybody, from the DC Universe to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham, episode 158. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman-on-film.com. Make sure you check out all the other great podcasts associated with our network if you headed over to BOF and click that podcast drop down. I'd like to remind you, all of our faithful listeners, if you take the time to rate and review our show on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts, and we read it on there, you just won our monthly prize pack. So be sure to be in it to win it. I am your co-host from the other side of the Hudson River, Peter R. Rivera. I'm a senior contributor to Batman on Film, and today we're recording on August 31st, 2024, Labor Day weekend. And now, everyone's favorite part of the show, let me introduce you to my partner in crime, the man who is about to be the next head coach of the New York Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion of Long Island, the man who will bring the Super Bowl back to New York, right? It's New York or New Jersey. I can't remember. Eric Holzman.
I better not be the next head coach because that means we had a bad season.
Well, it also means you got a hell of a paycheck.
That's true. That's a good point. But yeah, football season starts this week. College starts today, and then the NFL starts next weekend. But
are you excited?
Yeah. I mean, this is a fun time of year. It brings me back to also when I played. Mm-hmm. So you start getting those every Saturday. Like now, I woke up early again. It's just my body clock is so used to it. So I got up early.
Do you do your own two-a-days just to kind of mentally prepare?
I should. Okay. I should. But I'd probably die now. I don't think I could handle the 2 days anymore. Okay. But yeah, it never leaves you. It's the funniest thing. It never leaves. The muscle memory's there. So I miss it from a personal standpoint, and then I also miss it. I'm also excited because the seasons are beginning. So very, very looking forward to this season. Again, I don't make any predictions because I've been a Jets fan way too long, so I'm not going to do that to myself.
So you've already been a defeat.
So I just take it as anything good that happens, I'll enjoy it all the much more. I have no expectations, so we'll see what happens. I do like some of their players, though. They have some really, really good players, and so it's going to be a fun season, I hope.
Are you keeping an eye on the Vikings?
Well, the funny thing is, I tweeted this out last week because they had a guy they picked in the first round who turned out to be a bust, and they cut him, and then the Jets signed him to the practice squad. And then we know that Sam Darnold is now their quarterback. So they keep signing each other's players, and then we wonder why neither team ever wins because both teams are so bad.
There you go. Okay. So you and Garrett have been spying on each other.
Well, he's actually been contacting me for a different reason this week. I know I've told everyone here.
The He-Man podcast is coming back?
No, I wish we would do that. But he's also now doing the Duolingo to learn language, and he's been contacting me about that stuff. So... So it's been a different conversation, but
what language is he learning? French?
Well, he's already fluent in Spanish, so he's doing it again in Spanish. He says he wants to clean up some of his the language, and I guess
really, I thought he was a gringo. I didn't know he spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Talk to him about it. He'll explain it to you. He's got a very interesting lineage. So talk to him about it.
All right.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool, actually. His background.
Espanol.
Cool. Yeah. So, football season, and we have a lot of news to get into. There's some fun stuff going on out there. There's a new rumor I just saw, so I'm going to bring that to the table, and we could discuss that.
Zack Snyder's back.
You know what's funny? You bring him up. On my flight home, I was going through Netflix, and I saw the director's cut of Rebel Moon.
And you watched it.
I was this tempted. I was like, oh, I should watch this to see how bad it is. I didn't watch it, though. No.
I have not watched the director's cut yet.
So I was having Wi-Fi problems, and then I was like, "Yeah, this is not worth it." So I stopped. I didn't attempt, didn't attempt to go any further. But it was there, and I was tempted. So, but the rumor is not Zack Snyder, and I guess we'll just kick off with this one. I still don't know any full confirmation. I've seen it only reported one place, so take this with a grain of salt. Maybe Pete, you know that I don't.
Okay.
We know Batman Day is September 21st, and apparently AMC is going to be re-releasing Batman 89, Mask of the Phantasm, and Batman Forever.
I think I saw this on Twitter somewhere, but I like you, I kind of didn't believe it.
Right.
I'm not surprised, mostly because I feel like it's an easy cash grab. They just did that
Yeah,
and like these popcorn buckets. They're
I
going to sell
know.
a million of these pop. I think these popcorn buckets are coming back. Everyone knows about the Lauer popcorn bucket. So I'm sure that the Batman was a test run to see how many of those damn things they could sell. And they probably sold like 3 million of them
I know.
at
I
like
was
$26 a piece.
I mean, I was traveling. If I was home, I didn't see any place here that they actually re-released the Batman. But if they were, I would have tried to go.
I don't know if
Um,
it was re-released around here, but I know that if you go to an AMC, you can still get the popcorn bucket.
well, I'll definitely be going to. I'm probably going to go to the movies this weekend. So if they have it, I'll pick one up because
Good luck. I think these things are probably sold out by
I
now.
know that's the thing. I know they're probably sold out. And
I've been actually seeing them on eBay for over 100.
I did, yeah.
And
And
I'm
I was
like,
thinking,
you guys are crazy.
right? I'm not going to spend that kind of money for it. And they like
Like,
Cinemark.
I've got an Optimus Prime one. You guys can kiss my ass.
Well, Cinemark. That's the funny thing. Cinemark has a store where you can go and buy them.
Yeah,
But
they do,
Yeah, but AMC doesn't do that.
which is weird. I think
So,
the last AMC popcorn bucket I had shipped from Ohio. Rob Myers bought it for me.
and the other funny thing is when the Batman came out on the initial run, I didn't get to buy the mask one that they sold,
That's it. That's the one.
the
Yeah.
popcorn head. But then I went back. I forget. I went to see something else, and they had one displayed, so I was able to go back and buy it.
Nice.
So I got to get that. But
That one's
yes,
great, but I mean, this one's high quality as well. I just haven't found the time to do it, and at this point, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's somebody else can collect it and enjoy it.
well, Pete, if I go and they have two, I'll pick you up one.
Thanks, appreciate
I will.
it.
I will
I don't
get
know
you.
when the next time I'll be at an AMC
So
either. I go
yeah,
Regal's so close to my house, I
right.
can't go anywhere else. It just feels weird.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
It just feels like a waste of gas.
I get it. Totally get it. Makes more sense. So yeah, so that rumor again, I read it yesterday, and I was like, it sounds like a good idea, but
Well, it's the anniversary Batman 80s coming up, so
right.
I would imagine it'll do something, and it'd be cool. Like the last time I saw Batman Forever, the last time in the theater when they did the last Batman anniversary, which was 2018, I think.
It was 5 years ago, so
Yeah, so it makes sense. But I guess it was Batman 75. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. I saw all 4 of the original movies, and that was a blast. So again, like
I remember you doing that.
Batman Forever is great. Like a lot of people don't, as Bill would say, Batman Forever is a hit. Like a lot of people like to deny it these days, but to some people that's the real Riddler. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean that's the Riddler, the version of the Riddler that I grew up on. So
It's still the Riddler that probably most people associate with is that kind of like,
yeah, yeah. So well, that's a good segue actually because Jim Carrey obviously played the Riddler in Batman Forever,
Mm-hmm.
and the trailer for Sonic 3 was released, and he's there again. He's coming back. So what did you think of the trailer first?
I thought the trailer was. I mean, it's insane because it's just like. I mean, at this point, we're getting the 3rd Sonic movie, which is
I know.
nuts. I still haven't seen the second one. Actually, I've actually dropped the ball on that. I really enjoyed the first one.
Me
I
too.
want to see the second one. I just haven't got a chance to do it. It looks cool. I mean, I believe Jim Carrey's playing 2 different versions
He
of
is.
Eggman, which is interesting. I mean, which only Jim Carrey could do. I recently read an article on Jim Carrey in general where it was kind of about how he's kind of shunned Hollywood except for Sonic movies, which I thought was interesting. I guess he's just having that much fun, and he
Right.
has enough money that he doesn't have to,
Definitely has the money. Yeah.
He can take it easy. He's probably still making royalties off Ace Ventura alone, right? Like,
and the mask. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, he and Batman Forever, he probably cashed in on the 90s. But I do want to see it, and I believe there's also. I'm really far behind on my Sonic watching. I've been playing Sonic like crazy. I played the Sonic Superstars on Xbox. I love it. But I believe there's also a Knuckles show that I have to check out. I believe it's on Paramount streaming service though.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think Knuckles has a stream. Either he had one that came out or it's coming out. But there's a Knuckles show I think somewhere in there, and I want to check that out. But I think at this point you have to give greatest video game movie of all time to Sonic.
Yeah,
he's got a damn trilogy.
I know.
Henry Cavill couldn't get a trilogy of Superman, but Sonic the Hedgehog's got one.
There we go.
Henry Cavill couldn't get a sequel. Sonic got two.
Yeah, the trailer. I mean, they give away a lot to me, but I don't know how long the movie is. But there's a lot in that. I can see
this movie being more than like an hour 45 minutes, and then credits.
Yeah, right? But there's a lot in this trailer. Like you do get a lot of plot points. You obviously immediately know what it's about. How they get there, obviously, that's different. But I'm really looking forward to it. I really like the first one, like you said. I only started watching the second one. I never finished it, so I have to finish it. But yeah, I think they're so well done. The voice acting is really well done in these films. So I'm looking forward to it.
While I haven't seen the second one, I remember watching the first one, like, this one's really, really good. And it's like, but it's not like a video game movie. But by the time this movie ends and where they put Robotnik, you're like, oh wow, you guys are really just taking your time and like carving out a story.
Yeah.
Like professionals. Like this is how it's done. You didn't just try to throw it all in at once. You were like, okay, let's do this. If it's good, we pick it up from here. Like they know structure and how to write a story, and they really sucked me in with the first one. And it's again like I want to see the second one. I really do, and this third one will probably push me along the way. But like you could just tell it. Okay, they're setting this up really well. So whoever's in charge of writing that first movie, I give them a lot of credit because it was like it was kind of brilliant in a way.
It was so well done. You're the one who told me about it. I didn't see it, and then you watched it. And you said I should watch it, so I did.
Because even that first one, what they do at Robotnik, he kind of like works for the government, but it's robots. It's like almost very 90s. Like we know what you nerds like, but we're gonna do it the Hollywood way. Yeah. And then by the end of the movie, like I said, they turn it all around. You're like, okay, I know what you guys did. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I'm again looking forward to this. Let us know, guys out there, if you're looking forward to if you watch the trailer for Sonic, and let us know what you feel about the franchise. Because like Pete said, I kind of agree with him when it comes to video game films. This is the standard, I think. I don't even. Right? I can't. I mean, you want to say
for years it was Mortal Kombat '94. I think it was. I think that's the year that movie came out, the first one.
Yeah, and I guess how many Resident Evils are there? There's tons of those.
Yeah, but they're bad. They're pleasure movies. They're not good movies. They're bad movies. You know, like no offense to Paul W.S. Anderson. Like guy's made a career of making crazy sci-fi films, but yeah, they're not good. And then the reboot I did not like the reboot of Mortal Kombat. So
yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
So I'm thinking about it. And then Mario. No offense, Haas is Mario. So you know.
Well, that was fantastic, but I want to see if they make more.
No,
right?
I mean, Bob, the Leguizamo.
Oh, that one. Okay.
And then I guess you could put in, but I'm thinking more along the lines of like this has got a mixture of live action,
right? Right. Okay.
The Chris Pratt Mario movie is more CGI, but again, like it apparently that was I didn't see that one either. Italian stereotypes, you know, just kind of keeping the wallet. So that's why I'm a Sega fan. You know, clearly
I never took that you as being that guy.
Yeah. But... Oh yeah. No. Yeah. I definitely. This is where I draw the line at Mario. I don't do it. It's disrespectful. It's rude. Don't do it at all. I don't play Mario. No, I play Sonic. And no animals were harmed during the filming of Sonic. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, it's probably. I mean, overall. 3 or 4, 2, 3, right? Because I still think Sonic 1's really good until I see it, but they just blindly ranking it because of reviews and reaction. The Mario movie has to be really high up there. So yeah, we've got lucky recently. How's that?
Yeah, and seriously, you should watch it. It's a good movie.
Oh no, I will. I just like pissing off Haas.
So yeah,
I run this website. It's like me and Steve, and we do all these. We made these dinosaur toys, and it's like Pete's just crazy. He doesn't appreciate anything.
I think you appreciate things. So there we go.
I do appreciate Batman.
You do. You definitely appreciate Batman and all your comics. So I'll give you the
That's my
credit there.
retirement. That's my retirement fund.
All right. So another trailer was released for the upcoming Christopher Reeve Superman movie. Dude, I don't know about you, but
bring a box of tissues, will you?
Seriously, like that's where I went just watching the trailer.
Just
I was
weeping.
like, I know, man. This one, honestly, and I rarely say this, but I could see this movie challenging for awards, in award season. I don't know.
I remember
Again,
when we first talked about it, they were like fighting to get it made and trying to get this, that. It was like kind of a struggle to get it through the film festival, and now it's here, and now everyone's talking about it. I'm like, we have been talking about this movie for months, and you guys are far behind. So, as usual, by the way.
Yeah, so I'm so in for this. I can't wait for it to come out. I'll be there opening night. Like it's just the trailer just grabs you. If you love the character and if you know anything about Christopher Reeve, this movie,
good to see it.
Yep, it highlights everything. And I think this is going to, as an offshoot, build up a lot of momentum probably for Gunn's Superman movie.
I hope so. Also, I hope so. Also, it comes off the heels of just probably the worst fan base we've ever experienced within this space.
Yeah,
and maybe they watch and they learn something. How's that? Maybe you guys get educated instead of outside of your propaganda.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to look at it too. It should leave you feeling good about Superman, no matter where you stand on the current status. Hopefully, it's something we all can agree on. And for the people who didn't grow up on Christopher Reeve Superman, because obviously I did. Go watch it anyway. Just go watch the film. I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic, and it's gonna be something again we all I think can agree on after we see it. So
yeah, I think Superman the movie is required viewing before you try to become a podcaster in the genre. And if you didn't do it that way, then you should probably just restart your life.
Yeah, it's safe to say we would not be here discussing comic book movies if that movie wasn't successful.
So again, it's always about putting in the work, right, guys?
Yeah.
No easy way outs around here.
So, all right, sticking with Superman and Lois, we know is entering its final season, and they changed the night.
Bastards.
So, where I lost my place here.
Superman and Lois, new time.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Superman and Lois will be moving from Thursday night to Monday night. So now
you can take that, football.
So now you can start your week, if you're not a fan of football, with Superman and Lois.
Did they change the time slot or just the day?
It says 8:00.
Okay. I think that sounds about right. What time's Monday Night Football start?
8:30-ish. So.
Sure, all right. So, depending on how big of a fan you are, you can at least get a half hour in.
True.
Because the pregame show for Monday Night Football starts at 7 a.m. Especially on ESPN. I believe it's on ESPN, right?
It starts at 5 p.m. It's ridiculous.
It hasn't stopped. They've been running. I think they still do NFL Tonight. What do they do? Susie Colbert's got 3 shows in the offseason.
It's completely overkill. I always laugh. I'm like, why are we doing 3-hour pregame shows for Monday night games?
But people are still in traffic from work. What are you doing?
Seriously. And then you get home, you want to eat your dinner, so you're not paying attention to it either. A normal hour would be fine, but no, they have to do the whole day. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Superman and Lois premiere, the season 4 premiere will be Monday, October 7th. Originally, I think it was scheduled for the following week, but they moved it up.
All right.
So
I'm excited. It's sad that this is the end, but this has been a very good incarnation of Superman. So it's hard to complain. It's been 4 seasons plus a bunch of cameos on the CW that we got from both Superman and Lois. So
yeah,
pretty successful run there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hate the CW, Sucks to be you because it did its job. It really did. I don't care what any of you said. It may not have made some of the greatest story choices, but it was around for more than 10 years, and it created an entire universe.
I think it's 12. I think Arrow started in 2012.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So it's been a decade worth of super. I mean, for an entire decade, it was the superhero network. Let's be honest.
It was.
It was DC TV for 10, 12 years.
And I mean, let's be honest. For a while there, it was the best live action DC content we were getting.
Yeah, yeah. There was a point in time where Arrow and Flash were at their peak.
Yep.
Obviously, as shows go on, they all kind of fade out, except for like Seinfeld and even Sopranos faded at the end. Like
Yeah.
What's it? Kevin Finnerty. My God. So I still think it's remarkable. Some people want to make a big deal about certain things, and I don't. But I appreciate the CW and what it did because you're right, man. For a while, between film and television, that network with those cheap costumes is definitely doing a better job. And there'll be one actor who'll be remembered as the Flash because they were both cast around the same time.
It's true. That's true, and he's definitely the more beloved of the two.
Yeah.
So, all right. So sticking with Superman, I didn't even know this, but August 25th, 1941 was the original appearance of Jimmy Olsen in Superman. And to commemorate the day and to pay homage to the day, James Gunn tweeted out, "Happy anniversary to Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, who debuted on this day in 1941. He did appear earlier as Office Boy in Action Comics, though, but officially Superman Comics, August 25th, 1941. Obviously created by Siegel, Schuster, Bob Maxwell. And then he teased a picture of Skylar Gisando's portrayal of Jimmy Olsen."
Wow, excellent job pronouncing that.
So, what did you think?
He looks like Jimmy. I could have gone with a bow tie. It's fine. I'm not going to make a complaint about it. I wish he held a camera. But just happy Jimmy Olsen's back and not dead. Very excited about it. I'm actually excited to see Superman and Jimmy interact. We didn't see any of that at all the last time. The last time I feel like we saw Batman. I keep saying Batman. I got bats on the brain. The last time we saw Superman and Jimmy together on the silver screen, I think they were sharing a beer in Superman Returns, or they're having a beer. They weren't sharing it.
Yep.
I think that's really it because Man of Steel had Jenny, and then Jimmy got shot in BVS, and then the CW introduced us to Buff Olsen. So that was an entire jacked up Jimmy Olsen was an interesting take. And what they did with him in The Guardian. Again, issues with the CW side, 12 years, shove it, Kowalski. It looked great, looked fantastic. I'm all for Jimmy Olsen being back in the center of things, falling off buildings and having to be caught. That's very important.
Yeah, I mean,
two of them.
From the nerdy looking side, he fits. Like, this is a very, very good picture.
Yeah.
Of what we would assume Jimmy Olsen, or what we know of Jimmy Olsen to be. So he kind of fits. It's a very good picture. And again, Gunn is kind of a master marketer in this sense that he does things like this just to remind people that, hey, this movie's coming. This movie, like, we know it's coming, but he's like, hey, look, here's another thing from this film. He's very good at that. So
I think all directors have gotten very good at tweeting about their films recently, to be honest with you. I mean, like, I remember during BVS, Snyder and Abrams were tweeting at each other. There was the Batmobile on the Death Star, right? And then there was Henry Cavill.
Right, I remember that.
That was kind of crazy. That really got all of us worked up back in the day.
So this is awesome. He looks great, and I agree with you, Pete. The fact that he's not going to be dead in the first 5 minutes after we see him is a very, very nice thing.
Hopefully we get a formal introduction too. We don't wait for the special edition.
The end credits. Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen the picture yet, check it out. But very, 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 very nicely done. Very well cast. Very nicely done. Keeping with the capes and tights as we always do here. We both know that a show that we're both anticipating, and it's almost here, is The Penguin. And there was a lot of questions about whether Batman would appear in it. Would Pattinson's Batman appear in it? And Matt Reeves says no. He will not show up. Yes. He will not show up in the show. Sorry, and sorry if you were looking for him. I mean, I know there were some people had like a visceral reaction. Well, then I'm not watching. Well, then don't. I really don't care.
Aren't you surprised they made this announcement? Wouldn't you just kind of, wouldn't the smart thing to do to not say anything and just have us all watch with anticipation, hoping he pops up at some point, even though he never does? Like, they don't need to tell us he's not going to be in it. They don't need
That's
to
true.
say he is.
That's true. It might have been nice to keep that a little bit of a suspense and then have us like, oh, is Batman going to appear at certain points in the film? But it doesn't surprise me that he's not. I think they want to focus on the Penguin, obviously, and they want to focus on that story. Obviously, it's going to be on the outliers of where Batman would be. They did say, Lauren LaFranc, who's one of the EPs on the show, did say that the Spectre of Batman will be there, but we will never see him. She also said, here's their quote actually. Matt's films are through the lens of the Batman, so you're high up looking down on the city. It's a different perspective. With Oz, you're in the city streets, you're in the grit and the muck and the grime.
This is great.
He's looking up, wanting to claw his way to the top. She continued, I think Gotham is an interesting enough city that it deserves to have more doors unlocked within it, and for us to walk through those and see what we think. I will say this, although we both know the show was trash, I felt like Gotham tried to do that.
Gotham tried to do a lot. And none of it was good.
But I feel like it did try and do those things, like focus on the city a little bit more, go to certain places that we don't always get to see.
Right.
So, but I think this show is probably going to do it a billion times better. So Reeves did talk about it, and because he was asked if he thought anything was lost by keeping Batman off the screen. And he says, I don't feel like it's missing something fundamental. I feel like it's an extension of what is fundamentally there. We know that this is the world of Batman. You're going down a different alley. So the Spectre of Batman is there. The Spectre of the Riddler is there. The Spectre of everything that happens in the last movie is there. It informs it, and it's exactly where we begin. So
I am curious, will we see Pattinson, though? Maybe a little
Bruce
B-dubs?
Wayne. Yeah.
Ooh, maybe this is a little tricky trick.
Bait and switch?
That's it, baby. Woohoo! Just one, because Bruce Wayne, I would imagine, traditionally very heavily involved in the philanthropy and the success of the city. This Bruce Wayne and Matt Reeves movie really kind of stuck in his shell, not looking past the mission itself. Curious. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But I wouldn't be surprised either way. I am more surprised that they announced Batman not being in the show, though. Completely surprised. That took me as a shock. Because I thought that was going to drag extra people into watching. Maybe he pops up.
Right. Yeah. Also, we also got word. I don't remember if we discussed this. We probably did. But the Penguin will also be back in Batman 2. So there you go.
That's right, baby.
Yes. So we'll be getting him again. So it's not the end of Oz at the end of the Penguin. Oz will be back. The Penguin is set to premiere on September 19th on HBO. So it's literally, 3 weeks from now? 3 weeks away?
Yeah.
So
it's crazy, man, how Penguin's really, since that movie's really gotten crazy, just ascended.
Yeah.
In print, in this movie. Big part of the second movie.
Well, I mean, he's obviously, like you said, a huge part of the first film, and the portrayal was so beloved. That's just, you strike while the iron's hot. It makes a lot of sense. So, but yeah, the suspense will be over September 19th. We will get our second look, actually, but our first look at this story surrounding the Penguin. So, all right, sticking a little bit with Batman. Recently, Nicole Kidman gave her opinion about how, some actors say acting in blockbusters isn't really acting.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah. It's not real. It's whatever. However, it's not artistic enough, I guess. So Nicole Kidman did an interview with L'Officiel. I probably butchered that, but and recently she was talking, people kind of asked her, like, why are you doing those kinds of films? So this was her quote. Everyone asked me, why are you doing that? And she said, I'm like, because she specifically asked about Batman Forever. She says, because she gets to kiss Batman. So that's a pretty cool thing.
There you
The
go.
thing people don't understand is it's not about the check. A lot of the mainstream big blockbusters that I do are hopefully different. She thought then they followed up with her about Aquaman because we know she plays Queen Atlanta in Aquaman. And her answer to that was kind of funny to me because she said she wanted to work with James Wan in the horror field. Aquaman has elements of horror with the trench, but it's not a horror movie.
Uh-huh.
So that was an interesting answer. But
I remember when she was being interviewed during the first Aquaman press run, they asked her, it was like ET or like Extra, like one of those shows. They had the crew there and they're promoting the movie. And they asked her why she came back to DC, and she goes, because they made me the queen. I just think Nicole Kidman likes to have fun. I think that that's it. Again, I get to be queen. I get to kiss Batman,
right.
Stuff like that. And she's like, you're going to pay me a lot of money for this? Okay, great. Again, better than having a real job. I think she gets it. She's probably one of the very few who does. And it seems like she's very genuine about it.
Yeah. I mean, the answer, like you said, the answers are very simple, but she's an actress. Why would you only do one type of thing? That probably gets boring. So you want to, spice up your life a little bit. And if they're going to give you a little bit more money to do that, by all means do it. So
to be honest, I'm trying to think of other movies she's been in, and all I can think of are Aquaman and Batman Forever.
Days of Thunder. If you go way back, she was in Days of Thunder when she was married to Tom Cruise.
Eyes Wide Shut, yeah.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Which is essentially porn at my age.
Yeah, she was in Eyes Wide Shut.
I told Nico to recently watch that, I believe, and he never saw it. I was like, dude, you got to see that. The movie's nuts.
It is.
It's like you got to. There were so many crazy. The two movies I recommended Nico were Eyes Wide Shut and Single White Female. And I was like, dude, both of them are crazy in different ways.
She did Moulin Rouge.
That's right. Okay. I know she's a huge star, been in a ton of them, but like, all I ever think of is Chase Meridian, and for good reason.
Well, yeah. Well, yes.
Leather.
Yes, and that scene when she's walked with the white, of course, in the sheets, wrapped up in the sheets. Yeah, that too. But
very vivid explanation there, Holzman. You remembered that scene very well.
How could you forget? Honestly, how could you?
How could she forget?
So it was just refreshing to hear that, though, because so many times we hear people, like you said, Hugo, weaving other directors like, those aren't the greatest artistic films.
Hugo Weaving complains about being Megatron, runs to the bank to cash his $30 million check. Like, shut up, dude. Who cares?
Right.
We all have.
Exactly.
You can have a job you don't like because everyone else does.
Seriously. About Ben Affleck, well, when they asked him about Batman, I'd play an ape on the ground, and at the time it was about being in the Batman, but dude, you think about it, it's a broader context.
Every day there's a new story about his personal life and what a mess it is, and I'm just like, thank God he's not Batman anymore. This guy, it was like, see, some guys don't get this reference. It was like when A-Rod was on the Yankees. Like, he could fart one way on the subway and it would make headlines. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I just need him to bat like 320.
I do think it's weird how it's how the story about, obviously, him and Jennifer Lopez split up. So it's weird how the story's told, though, from this perspective. She's been married like 5 times. No one focuses on, like, he's kind of being labeled the bad guy here. He's hard to live with. All this other stuff I'm reading.
It's probably easy to live with.
She's been married 5 times. Why are we not focused?
It wasn't one of them to Puffy?
No, she never married him.
Oh, she just dated him?
Okay. Yeah, she just dated him.
All right, well, there's a red flag.
But she's a red flag. As beautiful as she is, like, I would not marry her because you clearly don't know how to do this. This is really
I would marry her knowing she doesn't know how to do that. I'm not. That is.
I would date her. Dating,
what we like to call a big old fat ass.
We're gonna get canceled.
Go ahead, cancel it. I'm going to cancel in Montreal.
All right, keeping in DC, Peacemaker season 2 is coming back, and apparently, Robert Patrick's character is coming back. So,
I think that's great news because I thought he was kind of the standout.
He was great. He was.
From what we know, this is kind of like a soft reboot of Peacemaker.
Well, it's either that or they're doing some kind of flashbacky thing, in my
I
opinion.
could have swore he said it was kind of like a soft reboot, like season one, like some things, but like
He did. You're right.
I
He
think
did.
I'm almost like 90% sure he said that. Like some things are going to carry over, some things are going to be new, and some things will be familiar. But then I got to see it to see where it all fits in. But
Well, at the same time, he says it essentially picks up where season one left off. So, what does that mean?
I don't know. He's dead by the end of the final. I believe he dies in the
Yes.
finale,
Yeah, he
or it
dies.
was maybe the second episode. I don't remember the second to last episode, but it was towards the end. He does. The character does die.
Yes, he does. He
I
does die.
wonder. I'm interested to see where it picks up.
So, yeah, he said. I mean, he said a lot of things, but the main part of the quote where I was reading, it says, "We were doing a big scene for the second season of Peacemaker on Friday, right before I came here, wherever he was. Oh, he was at Tampa Bay Comic Con.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, he's back. I mean, he's going to be on the show.
I think it's great.
I guess the scope.
Maybe he's a Force ghost.
Rick would love that. Rick Shu loves the Force Ghost, so Rick would be happy if that were the case.
There you go. You could you guys could talk about it next time you're on Friends from Alderaan.
Funny stuff. Anyway, keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So, Beetlejuice is coming out. There was a London premiere.
It was. I thought it was France. It was somewhere. It was Europe.
Wait. Yes, the 81st. No, yes, the London premiere of Beetlejuice, and they asked Tim Burton about possibly doing a third one, and this was his answer. Well, if the same time frame goes on, I'll be about 100, so maybe. I doubt it.
He's very interesting with his answers sometimes.
He is very, very interesting. So I wonder, I think they're probably waiting for the response to this one. And again, if both of them feel like there's a story to be told, that's usually what they're going to do.
Would you see the studio doing this without either of them? Like,
no.
I could see Burton not coming back.
No, I can't see them doing it without either Keaton or Burton.
They need
or Ryder, to be honest.
Okay, I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know how big a character is in this one.
Right.
Obviously, Ortega's trying to pass the torch. I feel like,
yeah.
But like, in a sense, I'm not sure because like I don't think Burton really has an idea for what a third movie could be. Like, he's not somebody who could just write a movie after you give him a check. I feel like he's got a, I think it took him like 30 years to come up with this idea.
Right. Well, he speaks about that. So he said, they asked him why was it the right time now, and he says because the Lydia character interested me. Getting older is where you start thinking about what happens in life. She starts as a cool teenager. Relationships. Do you have kids? What are they like? What do you like? How do you change? These are all the things that I know and experience. So I felt more right to take this now rather than back in 1989. So it makes sense.
I don't think we're going to get a third one, but I could see that. I don't think we'll get a third one by Tim Burton. But if this thing makes bank, I could see them unloading a truck of money to Keaton and hiring some director to make a third movie.
I wonder if it would be a director who kind of is in line with how Burton does things. I wonder if it would be. I don't know who that would be. Maybe a James Wan. Maybe someone like that.
Or I don't know, whoever did James and the Giant Peach.
So they also spoke to Jenna Ortega, who kind of has become a new Scream queen for us. We all know her, obviously, from the Scream franchise. So she said it was a no-brainer for her. She said she was first surprised that he asked her to play Wednesday, and then she was surprised when he asked her to play Beetlejuice.
She's really good at networking, this kid.
Yeah, she is. She says working with him is a dream. And then she talked about the ghosts and ghouls and demons, and she said it's the best. It's so safe. It's so collaborative. It's so inviting, and everybody just keeps outdoing themselves. It's very playful, and it doesn't feel like work. You don't want to leave. Playing Lydia's daughter is probably one of the most grateful experiences I've ever had. She's just an absolute legend and one of the loveliest people.
I still think Winona Ryder's hot. I still do. Like I saw a picture, I was like, her and Christina Ricci will just always be like, I'm in love with you.
So you don't watch Stranger Things? You haven't watched Stranger Things?
No, I have.
Okay.
But she kind of was like the she was they made her look very stressed out in Stranger Things.
Well, that's the role in the film,
Oh,
in the show. Yeah,
I'm just saying, yeah. She looked like a hot, stressed out alcoholic, but that would find on a bender at like 3 a.m. at my local pub. But
Well, when your son disappears,
instantly great up. No, I get it, but I'm saying red carpet Winona is still hot. She's a beautiful woman.
I hear you.
It's like Sydney Sweeney in Madam Web. They did their best to cover up the puppies, but those things were not going anywhere. They're like, no, we need to be seen. People know us. They're like, we'll cover up everything else about her except that.
Well,
like, you know?
they did try and like minimize her appeal, her sex appeal. Like they gave her glasses. They did a lot to try.
They gave her glasses, but they exposed her chest
so
much more.
Well, I mean, that's her body. What are you gonna do?
I'm not complaining, loving everything.
You can only diminish so much. Did
you see what Disney did with Dallas Bryce Howard or whatever? However you pronounce her name, I always
You're right.
Backwards.
You said it right.
I finally got it right.
Yes.
They in the Jurassic World poster, the first movie, they flattened her butt because she's got a donkey. So that side view when she's like, it's crazy when you look at like the side views of her pictures. Like if you look at that, when the poster where she's looking out the window at where the giant Indominus is supposed to be, they flattened her butt. It was too big.
I think I remember us talking about that.
Yeah,
on one of our shows.
Yeah, crazy.
Well,
just let it go.
It's a kids movie, right? That's what they tell you. It's a kids movie.
Okay. Meanwhile, what's his name's getting mauled by 3 raptors. Yeah, blood flying. Yeah, okay, kids movie. They're dinosaurs, Jimmy.
Well, we have another actor was at the premiere for the Beetlejuice. Willem Dafoe, obviously a very well-known actor, guy who's played many creepy roles. Mm-hmm. So this is yet another one. So he had never worked with Tim Burton before. So he said that was a big draw for him. He followed him for years. He really likes his movies. He's contributed a lot to movies. He said, but when he came to approach him, he was happy to sign off. He plays a ghost cop in the film. But before I died, I was a B-list movie star, which I think is fantastic. That's the character in the film.
Amazing.
He says he gets a chance to poke fun at himself and do a lot of the face altering that obviously his face is very expressive. So it's just cool to see this movie. The more I read about it, the more I hear about it, I'm getting more and more excited for it. So
were you, what camp were you in pre-Beetlejuice 2? Were you like, I need Beetlejuice 2 or Edward 2?
Oh, that's a good question.
I personally, I love Beetlejuice. I love Edward a little bit more.
That's a really good question.
It's tough. They're different movies, but Edward Scissorhands is, I think, one of the greatest movies of all time.
To me, it's I mean, the style of it to me at the time
so
was
very
groundbreaking. Yes, it was very groundbreaking. Yep, I agree with all that. But I thought where it ended was fine. Like I would have been fine not getting a sequel to either of them, to be honest.
I agree with you, but this thing looks like it's about to take off. So I'm kind of like, maybe we don't get, Beetlejuice 3, Edward 2 is more of a priority for me. And I don't know if we're going to get it, but I'm just saying if Tim Burton's back.
I wonder if they jump in the water with Johnny Depp again. That's kind of a
post-trial though. Things are a little different for Depp after he was kind of cleared of everything,
That's true.
I mean, there's a lot more, you don't see Amber around.
Yeah.
Well, she's kind of gone into hiding. So,
I mean, not to be mean, but based on acting ability, you would give Johnny Depp a chance way before you would give Amber Heard another chance. So, again, not to be mean.
Oh, that's Warner Brothers calling Holzman for Aquaman 3.
Yep. No, maybe they want me for Beetlejuice 3 since they're talking about it. They have,
or it's the Jets. They just hired Salah. Eric, this is Woody. I need your help with the Band-Aids.
Now I hope that this is odd. Like when I do post, it doesn't take out the phone.
Oh, that's funny.
This is not going to make sense.
You'll have to re-edit. You'll have to re-edit it in. It'll just be a generic phone ring now. So funny.
All right. So, Jurassic World. We know there's a sequel, or is it really a sequel?
It is the start of a new trilogy.
right? Because the name is actually Rebirth. So
But it's still it's a sequel in my opinion. It's a
okay,
sequel. It's a sequel trilogy to the sequel trilogy.
right. That's why I was asking. I guess it's kind of
Yeah.
a Star Wars thing. I don't know. Similar with the three separate trilogies. We'll see. But yeah, they gave us a first taste, a first look. They gave a little teaser releasing the date. So it's going to hit theaters July 2nd, 2025. Again, it's a title Jurassic World Rebirth. A lot of people are like, how's it going to make that date? Or we'll see what happens.
Not my problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's not my problem.
Don't worry about it. Wait, just sit back and wait, bro.
And of course, they released a couple of pictures. Mahershala Ali is in one of them. You see Scarlett Johansson. I think his name is Jonathan Bailey in another one. As we know, the film also stars Rupert Friend, Manuel Garcia Rolfo, Luna Blaze, David Iacono, or Iacono, Audrina Miranda, Philippine Velgi, Bashir Sylvan, and Ed Screen. Yeah, so technically, like you said, it's a sequel,
See the
but
sequel to the sequel trilogy.
yes, and of course Gareth Edwards is directing. So, what did you think of what they showed us so far? The pictures, it kind of looks like typical Jurassic stuff.
Yeah, I don't. Just I didn't see the last one because I hated Fallen Kingdom. Like I did just despise Fallen Kingdom, but these movies have made $1 billion each, which
So
is
bad.
crazy. But it's funny because even getting the gang back together did not get me to the theater for the next movie. It just really looked like it jumped the shark, and
It's
I'm a big fan.
so
The very first movie I like, Jurassic World. I enjoy that movie. It's kind of a remake boot. I appreciate that, but after that, I think they've really missed the mark.
it's Dominion is so like everything is so shoehorned and
Yeah.
it's so bad. I don't know. They try to make certain things interesting, and again, I watched it just on a whim. I was sitting home and it was on, and I caught it in the beginning. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, let me watch. And yeah, I'm so glad I didn't waste money
Even though I
to that
haven't
movie.
seen it, it does feel like the most wasted nostalgia that they've recently done. I think some people would probably argue The Flash and bringing back Keaton for that, but I enjoy that movie. But I still have to see this because I have to at some point. But it's mostly like a streaming watch for me. Like, all right, let's check this out. I'm sure I'm not going to like it, and I got a thing for Laura Dern. She's hot.
That's the third. That's three we mentioned so far,
Three
right?
milfs.
With
I like, dude. When Laura Dern, the best part of Star Wars is Laura Dern with a little purple thing.
the purple hair, you feeling the purple hair?
You sexy fox, come over here. Get over here in your lace outfit here.
It's great. Like I had to double check when you just said that Dominion made $1 billion. I was like, no way, but yeah, it did. What
The
is
three
wrong
of
with
them,
people?
the franchise made $3 billion, I believe. The world franchise.
What is wrung with? Oh man, I used to say the
I
same
said the
thing
same
about.
thing about Captain Marvel. I was like, and nobody caught on until the second movie. But I was like, man, like everyone loved. I think
Which,
people love dinosaurs, dude.
yeah, you're right. That's true. That's probably exactly what it is. People just love dinosaurs. Um, and I'm sure some people, even though it's not probably not appropriate, they still will take their little kids to it. So that's more money. I don't know, but yeah. So we are getting another one, folks. It's supposed to be next year, July 2nd. But I'm kind of in the camp of not sure it's going to make that date myself, but we'll see.
I will see Sonic 2 and Jurassic World Dominion before the new one comes out for both of them.
Okay.
Market here. Take it to the bank.
You heard it first, people. So
I'm going to watch movies that are already out for at least 3 years. Mark my words.
Well, sticking to franchises that to me should be just done with, and no one should watch them anymore. Apparently, we're getting details have emerged about Predator Badlands, so we're getting another Predator film. It's currently
I like
filming
the
it.
Predator movies.
Yeah, but come on.
The last Predator movie I think was a good movie until the ending.
Yeah.
That was it. That is probably the biggest example of the ending ruined the entire movie for me because I thought the movie was badass up until they gave him this fake suit of armor or Predator suit, and I'm just like, this is a stupid idea. I hate this.
Was it a terrible, completely? But no, it was not a terrible movie at all.
Because the one before that, Predators with Brody, was amazing.
Right. So, but like, I don't know. Like, but to my credit, or to their credit, I didn't think we needed another Alien film, and we got one, and I loved it.
Romulus is great.
So yeah. So I mean, maybe I'll have the same feeling for this, but apparently the code name of the film is Backpack, which is kind of funny since it's filming in New Zealand. That kind of makes a lot of sense. The casting call, which we got this information from, also says this: a groundbreaking film in which one of the two main storylines delves into the intricate bond of two very different sisters, their familial ties, and are put to the ultimate test as they pursue divergent paths and missions. Twin sisters apparently are named Tia and Tessa. Tia is smart, witty, and spent most of her life in the laboratory, and Tessa has a militant intensity. So filming is taking place between June and September on the project. Yeah. So.
All right. More details to follow.
Apparently, Elle Fanning is in talks to star in the film, or was in talks to star in the film. So I don't know. But there you go. If you're looking for another Predator film, looks like we are getting one. And again, with the release of Alien Romulus, we'll see how it goes.
I mean, you can't be surprised that Disney is taking a shot on these old Fox properties, right? Like they
have to do something with them.
They got we could only benefit.
Yep. So again, I hope they're good. I hope it follows the path of Romulus, and we get another really good Predator film. Because for me, for the most part,
what was the last? Is that it? Is that the last one?
For me, that one is like way, way up high in my.
Do you not like Predator 2? I really like Predator 2.
So,
wow,
that's the Danny Glover one.
Yeah.
See, I don't see him in that role. That's why.
And you don't see Danny Glover as a cop?
Well, no, I see him as a cop, but not in that kind of a film. Like I see him as Murtaugh in in Lethal Weapon, in a comedy. I don't see him as a kind of badass kind of cop. Like that's not.
I don't know. I like him doing that type of role. It's kind of that, and it's also like I kind of like that type of guy taking down a predator. I like how different they are. Like
they are different.
Predators. You have the military aspect, and then Predator 2. He's just a regular cop. Like I kind of like how it's different, and I like Keyes. I like Gary Busey. He's cool in that role. I'm trying to think, like the Predator movie I probably like the least would be like Alien vs. Predator Requiem. If I had to pick, because I really, the first AVP I don't mind. I like them all for the most part though.
The first AVP,
they're fun science fiction for me.
Yes, the first AVP, I understand why people don't like it, but it just was kind of fun for me. Like I'm like, this is kind of a fun.
It's not a bad movie by any means. It's just kind of just like
I don't think I ever saw Requiem because everyone said it was really
I don't think the acting's not good. I don't think the story's that bad. I think it does a good job connecting everything to believe it or not. I got a soft. I'll definitely take any movie directed by the Strauss brothers over the freaking Russo brothers. I'll tell you that much. I would take the brothers Strauss over them any day of the week. Those guys are creative and they've got an idea. And the Russo brothers are hacks, and I hate them. They're horrible directors. I don't hate them, but in terms of directors, I don't like them. So there's that. There you go.
I think they're fine when they're given a certain task.
Yeah, I think they're fine when someone else does the work for them.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not involved in writing the story, and I think they're okay. But yeah, I mean, outside of the Marvel stuff, everything else they've done has not been good.
I'll take that. I'll take the Strauss brothers.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Marvel and returning, I know a lot of people are iffy on this film, but I personally love it. So James Spader's returning as Ultron.
Yeah, baby.
For the Vision series that's coming out. So the guy who did Picard, Terry Matalis, he is going to be the showrunner heading up the Vision series. So James Spader will return. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense. That's where Vision.
I'm excited, man. Ultron's my favorite Avengers movie.
I love it. I mean, I think it gets a lot of heat. I don't know why people dislike it. Some of the dialogue is cringy, but that's most Joss Whedon's movies.
I think Spader's dialogue is amazing. It's so sinister. He delivers it. He's fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, he is fantastic. He's my favorite villain outside of Loki, probably in the MCU, depending on how you vision Loki, I guess. But he was my favorite of the villains. After that, I know a lot of people liked Thanos. I thought he was okay, but yeah. So I'm happy about this. I have a little bit more interest in the show now. I wasn't really caring about a Vision show, but now that we're getting someone who I really really enjoy, I like Spader as an actor overall. So I'm a little bit more interested in this now. So we will see.
I'm pumped. I think this is
Yeah,
good news. If they're gonna bring, I like this more than bringing back Robert Downey Jr.
I agree. I do too. I like him, and I love Robert Downey Jr. But I don't know. Again, I have no idea about the story surrounding that. So until I know more about that, it's hard for me to do a strong critique on that casting announcement. So we'll see. Another cool thing we just got in Deadpool and Wolverine was the return of Wesley Snipes as Blade. Um, Ryan Reynolds apparently now he wants to try and push for more Blade with Wesley Snipes back in the role. So he went on. He was quoted as saying, "The reaction when Wesley Snipes enters the movie is the most intense thing I've ever heard in a theater. People screaming with uninhibited joy and love is also the sound of a legacy. More Blade, please." Um. So yeah, we also discussed, I think, on the last show that we did of how this happened because Snipes never thought he would be back playing the character. And he says that over the years they had interesting conversations, but nothing ever happened. And then when Ryan Reynolds gave him a call to do it, he was like, "Yeah, if you're in, we're in. Let's go." And that's how it happened. So, would you like to continue the Blade story of Wesley Snipes' Blade, or see him maybe in the new one with Mahershala Ali? Like, what would you, if they were going to do this, keep going with Wesley? How would you like to see it done?
I'm all for Wesley having a cameo of some sort in the Ali movie. I don't know if the Ali movie's ever getting made.
That's a good point.
I also am of the mind that, Wesley had his time. It's time to pass the torch. It's time for another actor to take on the role. I still don't know if the Ali movie's getting made.
Right? I know, that's the funny thing.
Just to say that for a second time. I also, in my theater was, I only saw the movie once, but Gambit got the biggest ovation out of everyone. Wesley, everyone was shocked to see Wesley. There's more of a gasp, but Gambit definitely got an ovation at the theater. I don't know. I don't know how many people remember the fact that Blade saved the genre in '98. You want to talk about post Batman world, Kowalski? It started in '98 after Blade saved the genre from Batman and Robin. I think his time has come to pass the torch. It was cool. He got a little send off. Him and Ryan Reynolds patched it up. I know Blade 3 was they hated each other on that movie, so I'm glad that they're friendly again, and he was able to get just one more go at it, because that's more or less that's kind of the last time I want to see Wesley's Blade. I think it was cool to get a little cameo because I think Blade 3 is horrible. I don't like that movie, and I will go right from Blade 2 to Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay. Yeah, I totally. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't need to see any more of his Blade. That's a very specific part, like you said, in the history of the CBMs, and he literally, like you said, saved the genre. So I think that kind of has a special thing on even in and of itself, and we don't need to see. It was very cool to see him in Deadpool and Wolverine, but that movie clearly was paying homage to all of the Fox history with these characters. So it made a lot of sense.
But the funny thing is, that's not even a Fox movie. That's a Warner Brothers movie. It's New Line.
Yeah,
which is even, like, I love that little tidbit. Like, it's a WB Marvel movie.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's a very good point. But yeah, it was very very cool to see him, and I thought it was fantastic. But that's kind of the way you should just leave it now. Like, I don't think we need to see any more.
I think it's good. I mean, what honestly, outside of, what was the last movie Wesley did? I can't even think about it. Right,
Coming to America.
I didn't see that one. He was in that. Okay.
Yes, and it wasn't good. So,
all right,
he was good in it though. He was fantastic in the movie.
But what was his last headlining role?
Oh, I don't even know.
Right, like, because he had that tax issue for a while. He had his legal troubles, and that kind of put him on hiatus.
Yeah.
So yeah, like,
I don't honestly. I don't even know. I don't even know what movie
I love U.S. Marshals. That's great.
U.S. Marshals was good. What's the other one I'm thinking of? He's been in a lot of really good films. I mean, obviously, I go back to New Jack
New
City.
Jack City, yeah.
Like, so that's funny. I was just thinking about that.
White Men Can't Jump, right?
White Men Can't Jump. Yep, him and Woody Harrelson. Yeah, he's been in a lot of really good movies. Sugar Hill was another movie he did that I liked. So lots of really good films. But yeah, I don't need to see him play Blade again.
I'm good.
He doesn't. The age is starting to show a little bit. The age is starting to show a little bit. So, all right. So I know you're not super excited for this, but I am. Spider-Man Noir is coming, and apparently Lord and Miller are fighting over Sony with the budget on the series. So, yeah. Sony is also not expected to renew the 5-year deal that Lord and Miller signed in 2019 when that contract ends. Pete, you're muted.
These guys get into trouble, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they can hang on to anything.
Yeah.
So
I think they did Game Night. Didn't they do Game Night? That was cool.
I believe they did.
So maybe they just get a little too anxious with these big superhero movies, these big franchise type deals. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they were supposed to develop series based with the Marvel characters that Sony has rights to. So it was possible we could have gotten other, another type of Spider-Man thing outside of Noir.
These guys were attached to Flash at one point, weren't they?
I think they were.
I mean,
everyone was those. Yeah. So, yeah,
maybe this won't come out.
I hope it does because I think it's a really interesting take. But yeah, it might not. I mean, if they can't agree on a budget, they might walk away from it, and then it's just going to be sitting
I'm
there.
still in the camp where some things need to be watered down, and I think Spider-Man's one of them. Like there's a lot of Spider-Man going on right now. Like you're going to have 3 different ones going on. I think Spider-Man's got to be cut back a little bit. And I know they're doing the whole live action versus animation thing with Miles and Peter, but there's just a lot of Spider-Man out there.
There's a lot. Especially if you include the video games too, there's a lot. So a lot of Spider-Man content, which isn't a bad thing, but at least it's not all the same character. So that's the one thing.
Yeah, that's fine. But it's still like it's just a little concerning. Like you guys are really stretching it thin. This is part of why the genre went through its recent because everyone's like, all right, everything kind of seems a little regurgitated at this point. Checking out.
I feel like Spider-Man's kind of like in the same vein as Batman, though. Like you can do a lot of different things, and people will probably at least still take a little bit of an interest.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But then again, I remember Flash.
It always comes back to the Flash.
Just saying, it's still kind of a flop.
Obviously, I'll go to my grave saying there was just way too much going on for that movie to be successful.
I don't think it deserved its fate, but
right.
I'm not blind either.
Yes, numbers don't lie, as they say in sports. Numbers do not lie.
Ball don't lie.
So there we go. But if anyone else is interested in this series, let me know. I feel like I haven't heard much about it outside of me saying I want it. I'd like to see it. So I just like the noir style of storytelling. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I think we're at the end of this one now.
All right, good. Let's go because I've got to go visit the Admiral.
Tie a bow on this. Okay, well then, Pete, plug away.
You can follow me socially at Pete Illustrated. You can follow me on this show right here, straight_O_G, Instagram, X, Twitter, Spider-Man, Spidey Coalition, Batman-onfilm.com, Batman-on-film.com, Brian Lauer's The Batman Book Club, and I'm going to pass this over to the Holzman with the most.
Yes. Thank you, Pete. You guys know you can find me on Twitter at Finally33, spelled Finale33. Also, don't forget I do my weekly, well, it hasn't been weekly in the summer, but I do a weekly New York Knicks show called All Nicked Up at all_Nicked_up. If you're interested in that, you can find us on Facebook Live, on YouTube, even on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Usually every Wednesday night around 7:00 Eastern time. We talk all things New York Knicks and a little bit outside of New York Knicks.
I'll see you at the home opener.
You're going? Or you're working?
No, well, they're playing each other. You're home opener.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
This guy, he's got a show. He's a fake fan. He didn't even know.
It was just announced too, right? They just did recently. Yeah,
the schedule was dropped within like a month.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
The big dates.
It's like nobody cares
I
about
know.
the NBA schedule yet.
I know. So
what's that? Who's playing on Christmas? That's all they care about.
right. I remember they announced the Christmas dates and then the opening night. You're right. I'm sorry I blanked. I'm sorry. I've been very, very busy.
He's been traveling.
So I'm traveling all over the place. All right. So so I think that's it. I think we got everything there. So, lastly, we're recording this on August 31st. It is Labor Day weekend. I hope everyone out there enjoys their weekend. Has a very, very nice holiday weekend. Happy Labor Day to all. And happy end of summer. If you like the fall's here. So get ready. Pumpkin spice all over the place. Apple cider donuts. There we go.
There you go.
I'm in. All right. So for Pete, I'm Eric. You're listening to Straight Outta Gotham. And we'll see you next time.
Booyah.